Hello and welcome to the other view, and my name is Omar Saleh. This video is going to now develop and evolve the idea of strategy and its success or failure from the previous videos we talked about if you recall, when we did the values, vision, mission, objectives, strategy and tactics videos. I said that because of I used that particular definition of strategy in the initial video about strategy in 1.5 to 2 minutes, that we will come back and talk about strategy in a variety of ways very quickly. So this particular video exactly goes back to expand now a little bit more about different aspects and different guises of strategy. And what I want to concentrate on here is one element, which is the part that talks about what are the major reasons for success or failure of strategy. So I'll blow it straight away. Okay, I think that people and culture are absolutely critical to the success or failure of a strategy. That's it, finished. You can switch off now if you disagree. Now, I'll go and talk a little bit more about it. Why do I say that? Where does that come from? I do realize that sometimes strategies fail because the finances weren't worked out very well, or the design of the strategy didn't work out very well, or the build, or the thinking about it, or the of the strategy didn't work out very well. There are all kind of other reasons, or the market analysis that we didn't work very well, or the operational side of it didn't work very well. There are lots of other reasons, but I'm going to concentrate and be controversial to you and say, look, if we're going to define strategy as the how we achieve our strategic objectives, but basically we have quantifiable objectives and we have qualitative objectives, and whatever they are over 2 to 5 years. So we need to build a number of ways of how do we achieve those objectives. And those ways that we talk about, they tend to be, guess what? They come in the form of projects or programs or initiatives, depending on how large the organization is. And we develop them in those terms. And those programs or initiatives tend to be run by people. QED. Because it's not that difficult to work out the finances. It's not that difficult to do the research and look at the markets. So yes, you can fail because you get these wrong sometimes, but the proportion of failure is almost 10-20% or so. But the real reason for failure when it comes to developing and delivering a strategy is people. And culturally, whether they accept it or not. Well, I say culturally and people because they're interchangeable, especially because a lot of strategies involve different kind of people from different kind of backgrounds and functions in the organization as well, or from outside if you go for a diversification strategies or mergers acquisition strategy. So not taking these into consideration is on your head, let it be. So my whole point in this particular video is to highlight the importance of that. And unfortunately, a lot of organizations, when they embark on their strategies, they actually take their eye off the ball. The real sort of ego goes towards finance, the real ego goes towards markets, and so on. While actually the major reason for failure comes from how do we execute, how do we implement. Where the rubber hits the ground is exactly at execution level. And at execution level, reality says, depending on which research you look at, on which experience you follow, somewhere between 70 and 80% of strategies fail because of implementation and execution. And guess who does the implementation and execution? The people you have, either within the organization or outside, or a combination of the two. And 70 to 80% of the implementations and executions that fail because of the people not having bought into it. Culturally, they are not fit, and between the organizations or from the outside. There are a variety of reasons. So if you do the maths very quickly, between 70 to 80% fail because of execution, and 70 to 80% of those fail because of people and culture, you'll almost find yourself with 50 to 65% of strategies failing simply because, guess what? People, not because they're bad. It's because you're not communicating with them well. You're not getting their buy-in. They don't see the business case and where they fit into it. They are threatened by what they are trying to implement and execute. There are so many different reasons why people... Now, there might be exceptional people. There might be good people. But there's still, if you don't cover the whole area and arena of people's expectation, people's understanding, people's buy-in, and actually being able to fit together, then you will end up in a really difficult position. You will increase the risk of the strategy not being successful at the end of the day. There are lots of examples in history and in the past of how of various organizations. I can mention all kind of organizations, whether it's Mercedes-Benz and Chrysler, or whether it is IBM and Lotus, or whether RBS and NatWest, or whether British Airways trying to do deals with other organizations, and so on and so forth. There are so many different. Now, I'm not saying they're failures. I'm just saying that they may be successful, and maybe in some of them, and they might have failed in others. What I'm trying to say is to provoke the thought in your mind, is saying, well, whoa, why did they fail? The actual maths of the finance and the markets, it wasn't wrong. What was wrong is taking care of the people and culture. And that is what made it not work when it came to execution, or made it work when it came to execution or implementation. Thank you for listening. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel, and my name is Omar Saleh. All the best.